Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so you've sent us quite a pile of sources on, well, a really fast shift happening in enterprise software. Our job, as always, is to give you that strategic roadmap, the core knowledge, so you walk away informed, but hopefully not overwhelmed.
And today we're digging deep into something pretty revolutionary, integrating the GPT-3 API into customer support.
Yeah.
We're really talking about moving past those, frankly, irritating old chatbots, the rule-based ones.
Oh, yeah, those.
And stepping into the era of AI that can actually, converse.
That's the big promise, isn't it? Moving from something that just causes frustration to something that, actually solves problems. The sources lay out a blueprint for using this tech.
And it's not just theory, that blueprint.
Yeah.
It's measurable.
Yep.
We found solid evidence that doing this right, integrating GPT-3 properly, can cut customer service response times by, get this, up to 70%.
70? Wow.
Yeah, and it boosts CS scores, customer satisfaction, significantly. Plus, and this is crucial, it makes your human support agents more productive.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack. The mechanics and the actual return on investment.
Exactly.
So let's start right there with the core AI advantage. Because I think for anyone who's only experienced those old, keyword-driven bots, the difference GPT-3 brings is, it's huge. Transformative.
It really is. Conventional chatbots, they just operate on a strict decision tree.
Right.
They hunt for keywords, follow a preset script. And if the customer says something even a little bit different,
it breaks. Yeah, you get stuck in that loop. I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. We've all been there.
we have.
But what's the actual operational cost? For someone listening who runs a large call center, what does that failure cost them?
It's high. Every time that bot fails, it escalates straight to a human agent.
Right.
Which means that agent is now spending valuable time on a simple problem the AI should have handled. GPT-3 aims to stop that. It uses advanced natural language processing, NLP, to grasp context, intent, even subtle nuances.
Not just keywords.
Not just keywords.
Okay, give us that example from the sources. The one that really shows this leap in understanding context, because that's the moment you realize, okay, this isn't just a better bot, it's a different kind of system.
Yeah, the sources had a great one. A complex scenario where a customer asks, how can I reset my password if I also can't access my recovery email?
Okay. The double bind?
Exactly. A legacy bot would probably force them down one path or the other.
Yeah.
Password help or email help, treats them separately.
But the real problem is the link between them. You need a solution that sees that dependency.
And GPT-3 gets that connection. It understands the combined problem and can suggest integrated solutions, like maybe using security questions or a different verification method entirely.
Which avoids that customer frustration loop.
Hugely. And it handles those complex Tier 1 issues without needing a human right away.
So beyond just being smarter, we get the sort of cold, hard benefits of efficiency and scale. Like it runs 247, never sleeps.
That nonstop availability alone is a big deal. It gets rid of the need for expensive after-hours shift coverage.
Right.
And we saw reports of cost reductions for businesses using GPT-3, ranging from 30 up to 50%.
30 to 50%, that's substantial.
It is. And it scales seamlessly. You get the same quality of response whether you're handling 10 requests a day or 10,000.
Which is crucial for handling those unexpected spikes in volume.
Absolutely critical.
Okay, but consistency under load is one thing. The other big hurdle, or maybe perception, is that automation feels robotic, impersonal. How does this AI scale personalization, not just efficiency?
This is where it gets really interesting. First off, it remembers the conversation history.
So the customer doesn't have to repeat themselves.
Exactly. No more starting from scratch every single time. It knows what you talked about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, that alone makes it feel less transactional, more like an actual conversation.
It does. And it goes further. It can analyze sentiment. It picks up on the customer's emotional tone from their language.
So it knows if someone's upset.
Yeah. And it can adapt its response. Show empathy if they're upset, maybe mirror their excitement if they're happy about something. Plus, it can tailor its language style to match the brand's voice. Technical, formal, or super casual.
That level of customization, though, suggests you can't just, plug it in and walk away. The sources really hammered this point about needing good instructions. Prompt engineering sounds like a whole new skill.
It's probably the most practical takeaway for anyone looking to implement this. You can't just feed the AI a vague question like, how do returns work?
You'll get a generic answer, or maybe a wrong one.
Probably generic, maybe inaccurate, yeah. Success really hinges on crafting detailed prompts. Instructions that tell the AI not just what information to give, but how to phrase it, what tone to use, and critically, what exceptions or details to include.
And there was a really good example of that structure.
Right. Instead of just how do returns work, a good prompt would be something like, explain our standard 30-day return policy using a friendly and helpful tone. Make sure to mention the specific exception for electronics, which only have a 14-day return window.
Ah, okay. That level of detail.
That specificity ensures the answer is accurate, it's on brand, and it covers the necessary compliance points all at once.
Okay, moving beyond just answering questions, the sources also talked about the AI acting like a smart traffic cop for incoming requests.
Intelligent routing.
Yeah, exactly, like a digital bouncer or a triage nurse. GPT-3 can analyze the content of a new ticket or chat, figure out what kind of problem it is, and even gauge how urgent it seems automatically.
So no more wading through complex phone menus or waiting for a human to read and sort every single email.
That's the goal. It cuts out that initial sorting step.
So if someone types, help, my credit card was charged twice, the AI flags that.
Instantly. It sees charged twice, recognizes it as a high-priority billing issue, and routes it straight to the finance or billing team, versus something routine-like.
Like, how do I change my notification settings? That gets tagged as a regular priority, maybe routed to general support or self-service docs. Critical stuff gets seen fast. Routine stuff doesn't block the emergency lane.
Makes sense. And the last piece, on scale and capability, global support. This is a huge pain point for multinationals, right? Hiring native speakers for every single language.
Incredibly expensive and difficult. But GPT-3 has pretty sophisticated multilingual skills. It can translate support chats in real time.
And not just the major European languages?
No. The sources specifically called out its ability to handle complex language as well, mentioning Japanese and Ukrainian as examples, while keeping the technical terms accurate.
And these aren't just clumpy, literal machine translations like we sometimes see.
That's the key difference. It's designed to maintain the conversational tone, the idioms, the technical jargon. It sounds much more natural.
So you could, theoretically, have your English-speaking support team effectively handle chats in Japanese or Spanish.
In theory, yes. It drastically expands your reach without needing to hire specialists in every single language. That's a massive advantage.
Huge. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk strategy security. The big concerns and, the actual results people are seeing, the nuts and bolts.
Right. Implementation first. It's actually way more accessible now than people might think. We're deep into the low-code, no-code era.
Meaning you don't need a massive custom software build.
Not necessarily. There are platforms with direct integrations. The sources mentioned Zendesk AI as one example, integrating this capability into existing CRM and support systems. That makes getting started much smoother.
But you still need a plan, right? You can't just flip a switch for everyone overnight.
Definitely not. The clear advice is to start small. A pilot program. Maybe handle just 15 or 20% of inquiries initially.
Test the waters.
Exactly. Focus on common, fairly simple questions first. Get your baseline metrics, see how it performs, then gradually expand the scope.
Okay, and cost. This pay-as-you-go thing, based on tokens, that can sound a bit abstract compared to a flat subscription. How should listeners think about the actual expense?
Yeah, a token is roughly a word, or maybe a part of a word, depending on the language.
Okay.
The sources showed a typical support interaction, like a full back and forth, might use somewhere between 500 and 1,500 tokens.
And what does that translate to in dollars and cents? Or I guess just cents.
Usually just a few cents per interaction at current rates.
Yeah.
It's tiny on a per customer basis.
So when you compare that marginal cost to the fully loaded cost of a human agent's time, salary, benefits, overhead,
the ROI becomes pretty clear, pretty quickly, often immediate.
That is compelling. But now the elephant in the room,
Yeah.
security. We're potentially dealing with sensitive customer info, GDPR, HIPAA, CCPA. These aren't optional. How do you handle that?
You absolutely cannot just send raw, sensitive data to a third-party AI. That's a non-starter.
Okay, so what's the fix?
The smart strategy is designing your system to avoid sending personally identifiable information PII to the external API.
So you keep the sensitive stuff, credit card numbers, social security numbers on your own secure systems.
Precisely. You process or store the sensitive PII internally in your existing secure environment. When you need the AI's help for, say, summarizing a conversation or drafting a reply, you send the data, but use placeholders for the sensitive bits.
Like credit card number instead of the actual number.
Exactly like that. It creates a secure boundary. The AI gets the context it needs without ever seeing the critical raw data.
That sounds crucial. Is setting up that placeholder system complex?
It needs careful thought during the initial setup, the architecture phase. But once it's built right, it's far more secure than trying to clean up a data exposure later.
And you absolutely need safety nets too, right? What if the AI just isn't sure?
Yes, essential. You need a clear, easy way to escalate to a human. If the AI's confidence score for an answer is low, or if the issue is flagged as particularly sensitive or complex, it needs to seamlessly hand off.
With a smooth transition message.
Yeah, something like, to make sure you get the most accurate help, I'm connecting you with one of our human experts now. That maintains trust and avoids frustration.
Okay, let's look at proof. Real-world results. Shopify was the first big case study mentioned. What did they find?
Shopify used a blended approach. They aimed the AI at their most frequent questions, setting up a store, payment issues, that kind of thing.
But with humans still involved.
Yes, with human oversight ready to jump in. And the results were striking. A 70% drop in their average first response time.
70% faster.
Yeah.
Wow. And interestingly, their customer satisfaction, their CSAT scores, actually went up by 12%.
Right. That really pushes back against the idea that faster means lower quality.
It suggests customers value getting the right answer quickly, maybe more than anything else.
Seems so.
Yeah.
The AI delivered on speed and accuracy for those common issues. Then the second study was Zendesk. They took a slightly different approach.
How so?
They positioned the AI more as an assistant for the human agents working behind the scenes.
Like a co-pilot.
Exactly. The AI would suggest possible responses to the agent. It could summarize long email chains or chat transcripts instantly, pull up relevant help articles in seconds.
Taking away the grunt work for the agent?
Precisely. And that boosted agent productivity by 25%.
It also improved the accuracy of the final resolutions because the agent had all the relevant info right there, instantly.
Okay, that flows perfectly into measuring the impact and looking ahead. If someone listening implements this, what are the absolute key metrics they need to track?
Well, initial response time, IRT, is often the most dramatic.
We just heard Shopify cut theirs by 70%. What were typical numbers before?
Before GPT-3, many companies were looking at average first response times around, say, 3.5 hours, sometimes longer.
3.5 hours wait.
Okay.
And after?
The sources showed drops to averages like 45 seconds.
Hours down to seconds. That fundamentally changes the customer experience. No more waiting forever.
It eliminates a huge source of churn right there. Then there's resolution rate.
The percentage of issues solved on the first contact. Yep. That saw massive jumps too, from maybe 23% first contact resolution up to 67% in some cases.
Wow, that's a huge efficiency gain, fewer follow-ups, less back and forth.
Monumental gain. And for the agents, we saw efficiency improvements reported between 30 and 50%. They're freed up from those repetitive, simple questions.
And that's the qualitative shift too, right? Taking away the boring stuff. Agents actually report higher job satisfaction.
They do, because now they can focus their energy on the complex, challenging problems where their human expertise really shines. They get to develop deeper skills.
Their role changes. It moves from just delivering service to more like strategic problem solving.
Which is exactly where you want your expert human talent focused.
So thinking about the future.
Yeah.
What's next? What comes after these current GPT-3 integrations?
Well, the sources are pointing strongly towards multimodal AI.
Meaning AI that understands more than just text.
Exactly. Systems that can process images, maybe even videos. Imagine a customer sending a photo of a broken part or a screen recording of a software bug they're seeing.
And the AI can analyze that visual information directly. That's powerful.
Instant visual troubleshooting, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, we're seeing much better voice-enabled support becoming feasible. Really natural, conversational, spoken interactions with AI.
Blurring the lines even further between automated and human help.
Pretty much.
Okay, so let's wrap up this deep dive. The big picture is GPT-3 integration really can reshape customer support. It makes it faster, it makes it cheaper, and maybe surprisingly, it can make it more personalized.
Yeah, but the strategy is everything. It has to be that blend. AI handling the volume and speed, but with crucial human oversight, especially around security, complex cases, and just final quality checks.
The tech is powerful, but the planning determines success.
Absolutely. Especially getting that prompt engineering right and building the secure architecture from day one. That's where the real work lies.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, the listener, to take away from this. If AI is getting so good at handling, let's say, 90% of the routine questions, the information lookups, the summaries, if it removes that foundational workload, What's the next critical skill your human support agents absolutely must develop?
Yeah, what do they need to do to stay indispensable and maybe even start driving strategic improvements back into the product or the business itself?
Because their role seems to be shifting, doesn't it? From just responding to service requests.
To becoming strategic influencers, using their insights from those complex edge cases to actually make the product better. That's the new frontier for support professionals.